Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's look at some stocks on the move today here in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker with Lizzie Burden, and we're joined by Bloomberg reporter Chloe Millay. Good morning.
Good morning.
So lots to choose from today then, because so many earnings. But let's start with Kering, the luxury group, extending a brisk rally.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is because the sales in the third quarter fell by much less than analysts had expected, including at the Gucci business, which was obviously the most important one for Kering. And this was actually the first set of results under the new CEO, who was hired to kind of lead Kering to recovery and turn things around. And it seems that he's doing a pretty good job so far. So demand recovered quite well in North America. Sales also improved in China. Obviously, those are two of the most important luxury markets. We are still in negative territory. We were still talking about a sales drop overall, but analysts are now kind of seeing a way out of that. So some predict a return to growth as soon as early 2026, which would be very positive for Kering. It also kind of helps that Luca De Meo, who's the new CEO, is trying to revive sales at the same time as he's cutting costs and reducing debt. We've seen that this week with the €4 billion sale of the beauty division to L'Oreal. So this is quite good news for Kering. Also a set of good news for luxury more broadly. Obviously, LVMH did quite well. Hermès did well, although it always kind of does. Kering is recovering. So there's a sector-wide story there, and it's quite positive.
And I've got to ask you about Volvo, because I spoke to the CEO earlier, and the shares are up 31.5%. He seemed optimistic, but it seems he really needed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a massive jump, as you just said. That's because it reported profit that was much higher than analyst expectations. And then the margin also improved quite massively, and we had a big beat on margin as well. And that was down to cost-cutting initiatives. So Volvo announced a few months ago that it was cutting 3,000 jobs, and that is starting to kind of feed through into the profit, starting to have a positive impact on the company, and that the benefits also happen earlier than expected. Analysts said that the quarter marks a clear inflection, and that is despite the fact that Volvo is very exposed to tariffs. It's controlled by a Chinese company. It has a lot of production facilities in China, although it has been moving some of these to Europe and to the US. So some analysts are saying that, there's not many car companies doing this well right now.
In terms of the other stories that we're thinking about, the semiconductor company STMicro also reporting, always a firm eye on the semis.
Yeah, absolutely. So STMicro is down this morning because it provided guidance that missed expectations, which kind of signals that the recovery in the chip industry is maybe not progressing as well as it was hoped. So that follows the update that we had earlier this week from Texas Instruments, which is a US company in that sector as well. And Texas Instruments said that customers were pulling back on orders because of trade tensions and because of quite a shaky economy, and that the industrial and automotive end markets for that chip sector were particularly weak. So obviously it's dealing with a lot of challenges at the moment, that sector. We've had tariffs. We also have rising China and US tensions. The US is trying to stop the delivery of AI chips to China. In return, China is trying to limit exports of rare earths that are crucial for those chips and batteries. So there's been this tit for tat. There's been those tariffs, and all of that is really severely disrupting the chip supply chain, and that is weighing quite a lot on STMicro.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.